Do you remember the first time you ever laid eyes on your significant other? Not necessarily met them for the first time, but saw them for the very first time. I not only remember that day, but I actually captured it on video, and I didn't even know it at the time. Barbara and I were invited to the same house party, and there was a secret room. I mean secret room because it's the sort of room where you actually have to move a bookshelf in order to get to the doorway and go downstairs. But this room was interesting because it was like a castle tower, and I mean like the round kind with the high ceilings and concrete. I was there, I was on a date, I was single at the time, dating, and I was in this little cubby part of that room, sharing a glass of wine and having a conversation with my date. And Barbara had come down, there were a few other people in the room, and she introduced herself and said, "Do you guys mind if I sing?" And of course everybody's like, "Oh, sure, of course." So she told a story about the aria that she was going to sing, and at the time I had no exposure to opera. I mean, who does, unless I do now obviously, but unless you're in that world, you don't hear a lot about opera anymore. So she starts singing, and I thought, I want to get this on video. So I pull out my phone, I start taking video. And then I later posted on Facebook and said, "This is amazing. I went to this house party last night, and this woman comes down and sings beautifully, and here's a little clip of what I videotaped." Again, I didn't even know her name at the time. So some of my friends had chimed in and commented and said, "Oh yeah, that's Barbara. She's an opera singer." So I was like, "Oh, that's very cool." And I didn't think anything of it because at the time I was dating somebody, and it was just one of those things that, when do you ever come across something like that? I thought it was interesting as I was scrolling through some of the videos and photos of our last 4 years together and some of the things that we've done together, that I came across this video and I thought, this is a great way to start this channel, because this is truly the beginning. I thought this was such an interesting moment that I tell Barbara from time to time to this day that had we not ever crossed paths again and gone our separate ways and met other people and whatever, she made such an impact on me that I would never forget that moment. And I always tell her as well that that's the sort of impact that she has on other people when we go to her other gigs and she sings for other people, and I look around the room and I see the faces and I see the joy that she brings to other people. Because if she never crosses paths with them again, or they never see her again, they will remember her for the rest of their lives. I love that about her, and I love that about us, and some of the things that we do together, some of the things I do on the boat. I built the business on the premise of we make memories, and she does that as well. And by the way, if you remember how you met your significant other or first laid eyes on them, comment below. Tell me how the first time you ever saw them, whether or not you met them at the time, or you just saw them across the room and you thought, I'd like to meet that person someday. So this is the clip that I found of me seeing her for the first time and experiencing her voice for the very first time. This is not how we met, because even throughout that evening I didn't cross paths with her because I was being respectful to the person that I was with. In fact, in the clip you can see my feet. We were just kind of laying down in that cubby and watching that from that perspective. But we would obviously cross paths later and get reintroduced, and we'll show you those videos later, because we cross paths a lot before we actually connect. So here's the clip.
The first time ever I saw your face, I thought the sun rose in your arms.